Today, you're invited to join us on our journey from Utah to California. We are chasing a dream. My name's Alexandra. Husband Trent and I started Shades Brewing, and we make the best beer and seltzer you've ever had. The brewery's in Salt Lake City, Utah. We're not religious, but we are on a mission to share our amazing beer with the world. Through this vlog, you join us and the team on our journey. I love where I live, but I spent many years in California. I consider myself a California girl. I have family, I have friends there. So for a really long time, I have dreamt of doing some business in California so I could travel there more often and see my family and my friends more often. Today, we're just on the cusp of achieving that dream. You're going to be joining Trent and I as we go on our very first sales trip. We have to cross the Nevada desert. We're traveling in a bus, which we are in the process of converting into an RV. We had some successes and some epic fails, including getting stranded in the middle of the desert in extreme heat conditions without any cell service. With over 10,000 breweries in the United States, getting this appointment with a distributor is incredible. But we didn't have a chance to totally test out the vehicle. So we broke down the night before we left. The morning we were leaving, Trent discovered that the air conditioning was not working. So we've just pulled up to the brewery to pick up our load, and we have discovered that our air conditioning is not working. When I did the weather check, I got a pop-up alert that said extreme heat. So I was asking myself, what kind of beer can I akin this trip to? And for me, it was maybe like either mango chili, where it was like a lot of good things happened, but there was kind of a lot of hot involved.
That'd be hoppy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, or maybe even beautiful disaster.
Yes.
So you say El Poppy?
Well,
Why do you say El Poppy?
You know, because it was all mixed up. Because it was jalapeno, agave, and basil. Who knew those three things would go together so well? The end result was good, but the getting to the end result was kind of a little mixed up.
I love it. So what were you doing in the bus while I went to get help?
Sleeping.
Yeah. So you were just sleeping while I was...
Yeah, I was drinking water and sleeping because it was 107 degrees. I had to keep my feet on the wall sliding over because it was tilted so far forward you couldn't sit down.
So what was the matter with the bus?
The DPF filter clogged up.
What does that mean?
Well, that's a diesel particulate filter. So all that black smoke that goes out of your tailpipe on diesels, there's supposed to be a filter in there that catches it, and then you put superheated gas through it. Supposedly it burns it to ash and then spits the ash out instead of the gray particles into the air. Well, that clogged up, and when that clogged up, the exhaust couldn't exit the tailpipe, and it's kind of like a banana in your tailpipe. If you ever saw the movies, you put the banana in the tailpipe, the car doesn't run.
So we are in Bishop, California, visiting our distributor, and it is really hot. So we are just 2 hours from Death Valley, which I think is like one of the hottest spots on earth. Melted ice. all of the camping spots are sold out in this area, but we are at Western Sierra Beverage and they've been super cool. They're actually allowing us to spend the night in their lot, and we are camped between a couple of big rigs, so we've got a little bit of shade because it is really hot, and they're giving us power so that we can tie in, and also the keys. So if it gets really hot, we can just go ahead and come in. So we got the keys to the cooler where all the beer is. So while we are gone, the totally amazing Shades team was handling everyday production.
One thing that I like to drink every day, it's a lager beer. We are thinking about putting a hoppy lager or a hoppy pills in the future in one of our new sample packs that we're gonna be doing. So might as well is a time to test. It's a good time to test this beer. Really hot, the heat wave is here. It's time for drinking more than 6-pack of beers. So yeah, we got our lager strain. We developed this kind of pilsner idea of beer, and we dry hopped with Citra to a good rate. Not enough to be considered an IPL, but it's a good amount of hops to be considered a very hoppy, fruity, hop presence lager beer. And it has some characteristics of peels, especially because we use Saaz hops. So it turned out a really good hoppy peels.
So this was the first time that we've come out to work with the distributor in Eastern Sierras. What was the experience like for you?
It was a good experience. Tom's a great guy. We went around with him 2 days, day and a half, and met a bunch of clients, and everybody seemed to be very receptive to our products and wanted to try our brands. They said they sold well when they had them in stock, and we just need to keep eyes on their inventory now and make sure that we're getting them stocked up and on a consistent basis so they don't run out. And I think we're good to go. It's going to grow.
So we're in front of Sakani Distributing. What just happened?
We landed a deal. Sacramento, here we come.
So we just signed the contract, and I have been doing my happy dance. So when we finished our meeting with the distributor, and Trent asked, well, what are our next steps? And they said, sign a contract. I was like, oh, wow, like I'm so excited. So entering California to me has seemed like kind of like entering the promised land, especially after last year with COVID. Hasn't been easy. So some of you may be wondering, where could I get this amazing beer? I am working on setting up a beer finder page on our website so that you can go to our website and basically look up your zip code and find out the locations where you could enjoy a Shades brew. And in the meantime, what you can do is anytime you go out, ask that bar or restaurant or that store, hey, do you carry Shades Brewing? And if they don't, they're like, tell them, call your distributor. It's amazing beer. You guys should carry it. Come see us. We are located in Salt Lake City, Utah, and it's a great place. So, Buffalo, we're having the spaghetti dinner release.
Yes.
And we posted it on social media, and the response has been kind of crazy.
Yes.
So they're not quite sure. Spaghetti dinner sounds like a crazy beer.
It's funny. every person that I was able to talk when the people were here in the tap room, I have the same reaction from 95% of people. First thing they thought about, oh, okay, spaghetti beer, ugh, disgusting. No, I don't want that. And everybody after trying, the same reaction. Not as bad as I thought. Actually, it's good. And it was the same reaction. You get the idea of you're gonna be salty, you're gonna be spaghetti, gooey. You don't know what to expect until you read the description. It's a simple description. It's a sour ale brewed with basil, tomato, and oregano. So it's more like the marinara sauce than the spaghetti itself. But it's still kind of weird. You don't want to drink sauce. But this one we went way lower in the tomato compared to the michelada, compared to the taco. We lowered the amount of tomato to be more drinkable. The idea of this is not doing a chelada style thing. This is tomato is just complementary thing. It's there, it's not the main player. And then you have this herbs, which is herbs that go really well in beer. Basil, it's phenomenal in beers. And yeah, it turned out nice, smooth, refreshing, and a lot of people saying they're taking this to the pool in these hot days and it's enjoying because it's refreshing and it gives you a different sensation of you expecting something super sour and puckery, but no, it's mellow, it's tomato, and it's kind of savory thing you want it before dessert. So that's what it turns out to be. And Mikey Riddle from the Utah Beer blog, he said the only thing he's missing in this is the starch at the end, like the pasta thing. And he like, of course I don't want that in my beer, but that gives me the desire to drink another sip. So it turned out pretty good. I like this.
So what were you thinking when you came up with a beer called Spaghetti
First, all this started with the michelada when they try to buy the tomatoes, and companies don't want to sell you just a drum of tomato. They want to sell you whole truckloads of tomato, and we don't need a full truckload of tomatoes. So we were able to buy 4 drums as a minimum order from 17 different companies that I contacted. One said, okay, I can sell you 1 pallet, 4 drums. And it's a tomato paste, so that is even more concentrated. So we use 2 of those tomatoes for michelada. We use 1 for taco. So we still have 1. And like, okay, what are we gonna do for tomato beer? And we done michelada, we done the taco. I'm like, okay, let's go for something like spaghetti. And I remember when I proposed that, everybody was like, what? I'm like, trust me, I saw other breweries doing this, but just like very simple tomato and basil, or going crazy like we done for michelada, going all full board, but nothing like with oregano and not in the sour base. So I'm like, okay, I would do something different. Sour base, it's our house beer. We do the American amazing base, so why not use that and make something like this?
Well, you got great feedbacks and marks from the customers.
It's really weird. We're doing really well on Untapped, so I know the beer turns out good.